Okay, we are going to go over face measurements. So we are going to use this part right here. So go to that part of your packet. And this is just going to be a generic face so you can figure out face proportions. Okay, so right away, if you notice, it's the same size. So try to make the face roughly the same size. Okay, so we are going to start off with the eyes. When you're drawing a face, sometimes students will try to draw the outside of the shape first and then start putting in their eyes. That is trouble because there's nothing for you to compare your eyes to with the measurement of the face. And so what's going to end up happening is we're going to use the eye, and that's going to measure everything on our face. And so this eye is going to be constant as we're making our proportions for everything else. So in the middle, off to the right side, you are going to draw your eye, and remember to draw the eye that you want. And this is the same right here that you had before in Unit 1, so you know how to make eyes, so do not make them a football. Take your time. And I am not going to sit in shade, so I can have some more time with the video. So now, after I made my eye, I will use my ruler. Okay, I will measure the outside of my eye. My eye is 3.5 centimeters wide. Okay, you can use the inch side too, and so it's roughly 1 3/8. Okay, so as I'm measuring with my eye, I know it's 3.5 centimeters, right? So when you're looking at this, what does this mean? One eye. The space in between your eyes, this space right here, is one eye length. And so I can go 1, 2, 3. And so that's what this means up here. You have one eye, 2 eye space, 3 eye. And so right here, I will take my 3.5, put a dot here, and then I'll do my 3.5 and put a dot here. So this is the space for my nose. This is a trouble spot. When you're trying to make your eyes the same, mirror image, okay? So I'm going in, oops, a little bit off, not a big deal. Okay, so now I have my 2 eyes, okay? So again, this space right here is 1 eye length, okay? If you go beyond this, if you have this wider, your face is going to get really, really long because we're going to use these eyes to measure everything else. So this has to be correct. So double check it right now. Make sure you have the right spacing. So I'm measuring the outside to the outside. That's 3.5 for me. It might be 2 for you. It might be 1.5 inches for you. So make sure. And then I'm taking the same measurement right here, and that's going to be my space. Okay. Then from there, I am taking another 3.5 right here and drawing my line for my other eye. So I'm a little bit off when it comes to slanting it, but I'm not going to stop the video and start a new one. So make sure this is correct, okay? Now after you draw your second eye, I want you to put a dot in between your tear ducts. So remember, these are your tear ducts right here, okay? You're going to put a dot right here, okay? As you're working with the video, you're going to do everything how we used to do it. And I'm not going to shade, but you're going to have your iris, you're going to have your fold, you're going to have your fold, you're going to have your eyelashes, and you're going to spend some time, you know, making all this stuff. For me to save time on this video, you will use all the steps on this right here and go through that whole step, okay? So now, pretend like the eyes are finished. You will put that dot in the middle. What does that dot mean? That's going to be the length of our nose. So I'm going to measure, I'll just state with centimeters, I think. If you look right here, I have the dot right here, and the outside of my eye is at 5. Do you see that right here? So now if I pivot down here, I will use this 5 right here. So what's happening is when I'm pivoting right here, the nose is as long as the eye and a half. So here's a half space and here's one eye right here. So when I pivot from that point, I have 5 centimeters right here, and now I have the same down here. Again, your measurement and my measurement will probably be off because you're probably not making the eye 3.5 centimeters. So you might be 2 inches, you might be 1.5 inches, you might be 4 centimeters, okay? So again, you wanna make sure this is correct. You have that space from the dot to the bottom of the eye, or the outside of the eye, coming down, okay? So now we have the eye. It says the nose is as wide as your tear duct. So what does that mean? Your nose will be as wide as your tear ducts coming right here. So when I put in my nose, I'm going to come right here and put my guideline right there, and then put in my guideline right here. That's how wide my nose is. So then I go in, make my nose, okay, make my nose, do the half circle, open it up, do the half circle, open it up, okay? Okay, so that's my nose, okay? Then from there, we have this. So everything's gonna get measured with the eyes and the nose. So now where do I know where to put my mouth? Well, we have to figure out where our jaw is first. So that's why the eyes are very important. We are going to measure from the outside of my eye right here to the other outside of my eye, and I'm roughly at 10.5, okay? I'm at 10.5 centimeters. So what's going to end up happening is I'm going to take my dot and do a little slash at 10.5, okay? So this is 1, 2, 3 eye lengths, okay? So if I were to take this and throw it on its side, that's where it's going to be, okay? So again, you measure from the outside of your eye to the other outside of your eye. Take that measurement from your dot that's in between your tear ducts and put a dash right here, okay? Now we're gonna use the same measurement, and we're gonna go up here, and that's the top of your head. And you're going to say, no, 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 that's way too tall. It's not, trust me, okay? That's going to be the top of your hair. When students draw, somehow they always shorten the forehead. So up here is also going to be 3 eye lengths, okay? So we take this measurement from the outside of the eye to the right side, and then we come up here, and that's going to be the top of our head, okay? Now, from there, okay, the lips, okay? The lips, when you're looking at lips, they're always on the halfway mark in between the nose and the bottom of the jaw, okay? So right here, I have 5.5, so the halfway mark is probably around here, okay? Do you notice how I put in a guideline right here? So that means my mouth has to be above, okay? This is going to be my lower lip line right here. So I will go in, make my middle line, okay? Now the middle line is hard to know where to stop. So what this means, the length of the mouth, use your eyes. Everybody has a different width of their mouth, and so when I'm doing this is like, is it going out to the iris? Is it going to the side of the pupil? How far? And you just kind of measure from above to figure out where you're at, okay? So now right here, I'll go in, draw my mouth, go right here, okay? And now I have my mouth. And right now, visually, this is looking too skinny, but I'll show you what you have to do, okay? So now I have my mouth. So that everything is measured with the eye. When you're looking over here, it says 1/2 to 3/4 of an eye length. So I'm gonna put the side of my face right here. Now it will come out just a titch. Usually when students do this, they always wanna go like, whoa, this is too hard, that's too extreme. It's not gonna be that much. So I come in with my cheekbone. Now, do you notice how this is pretty much a straight line? Okay? You cannot bend until you get past your mouth, okay? And when you do you see right here, it says sometimes you need to add, And we are going to add a little bit just because we don't walk around with the clenched jaw. Okay, and so do you notice how I'm adding right here? Because our jaw is hanging down and we don't want it super tight. And I'm gonna fix a couple spots. So right here is pretty much straight until I get past the mouth, and then come in. And then I'm not liking this jaw, so I'm gonna erase it. I was too busy talking. Okay, so that's not bad, okay? So that is the face. Now, sometimes students will go like this, oops. If they have their mouth right here and their eyes, they'll go like this, and all of a sudden they'll shave in like this. Make sure you're not caving in until you get past the mouth. So if you look right here, I'm past the mouth, and that's where it can start caving in. Now up here, if you're bald, you'll just kind of go in with a half circle, okay? So now we have a nice face. Ears, okay? Ears are usually between the bottom of your nose and your eye. And they're not Dumbo ears, so they're gonna be those flat, oval cake layers. And presto, I am done, okay? Flat oval with a kind of a bump, and done. Okay, so again, the bottom of your nose to the bottom of your eye, that corner. Now with your neck, right where it's bending, you will go in, add the line, add the line. Sometimes when students do this, they'll go like this. That neck is too skinny. So make sure right when this is bending into your jaw, you come in with your line, okay? So now the last thing, with hair. You have to decide how you want your hair. If you have short hair, you're in the military or something like that, you'll kind of go like this, and that will be your hair, okay? If you have long flowing locks, you'll go like this, and just keep on going, and it'll be above. So this is short hair, okay? And you might have little spikes here and there. Okay, so that's short hair. And you see how now I have my forehead? And so that's the reason why I make sure that you have 3 eye lengths here. Otherwise, you won't have a forehead. Okay, so that's the measurements. So double check all this stuff, and then you will sketch. Okay, and I think I got everything. So the last thing is, then you can add your eyebrows. Okay, now I can add my shading. And you guys, I'm gonna go quick so you're not stuck watching all this. And then I can go like this, add my shading. So when I get all done, this is what we did last year for a class period. So you can see how I started adding my shading. It's a little bit smudged because it's been floating around my sketchbook. So this is a quick rendition. So you are drawing a face for half an hour with the face proportions. I'm okay if you don't have enough time to do density of line on the hair. I'm looking for correct facial proportions. And I would highly recommend that you work with this fancy U shape with your nose, so the nose will start coming forward, okay? So I think that covers it. Have fun drawing a face.